I'll look at that after. But let's look at this. Jawbreaker TTV, by the way. Alright, you're landing with at least one enemy team that you noticed. I should turn down the volume a little bit.
Oh, fuck.
You're playing caustic. As soon as you landed on the door here, I would have dropped a barrel somewhere just in case one of those enemies landed on you. Just so that you can slow them down and make sure you can get the loot first. Especially since when you run out of the building, you can pick the barrel back up again and the cooldown is just instantly back right there. So it's totally worth it. Because you start with all 3 charges, right? So there's nothing wrong with popping that instant barrel down just in case they land on you. Holding high ground here, that's good. You're a little too far forward, so you're exposed to 2 enemies instead of 1. And in this location, and a couple houses have this. See if we can go back to where we can see it. Right. So you've got this ramp here, right? And then up here you've got this huge satellite dish, whatever you want to call it. So you've got a little bit of high ground here with more cover. So this generator is a bit unfortunate because it's a little too far back to get a good sight line below here. If you just go up this ramp and hold up here, it's actually a slightly better spot. And it's really easy to get to because you can literally just walk up here. So it's nice to make this little spot one of those, you know, habit spots if you're fighting in this area. It's a very, very strong position. Other than that, good use of high ground, nice patience waiting here. When your teammates heals, that's very good. You're the only one with armor now, you're the tank, so it's nice that you're making it safe for them to move around. I definitely would be making good use of cover right now to make sure they can't easily break my armor. Not only because you don't have any heals, but also because your teammates need to either get a great angle or need to loot before you can win this fight if they got kind of lucky with the gear, right? You're the only one that has armor, so the longer you can keep this armor healthy by using cover well, the longer they can't push in. And then if they do decide to push in because they're too aggressive, you will still have your armor to punish them. So I would be very careful with my armor here just to prevent them from pushing. Also, you can use the window in the building below here to peek where they are, because there's an open window there. But that's okay.
I only have my feet.
Oh my god, they're all so low.
Definitely should ADS there. The wingman has very bad hipfire properties. The hipfire on it was significantly nerfed, so it's basically got sniper-like hipfire that has a lot of spread on it, because it used to be too strong. So the wingman is not a consistent hipfire weapon. Even in close range you want to ADS with it. And it's a pistol, so you still have a very fast strafe speed with it, even if you ADS. Also, I think the enemy jumped when he kicked, when you saw him. If you have a weapon like the wingman, so a lead point weapon like a sniper, shotgun, wingman, slow weapons that do a lot of damage in one shot. If you see the enemy jump, then what you want to do is aim down sights, wait for when he starts his jump, and then shoot him where he's landing, so it's very, very easy to hit a headshot. Especially in a scenario like this, he doesn't have a gun, he's not a threat, so if you were ADS there, you could have headshot him for free. You didn't need it because he was already damaged, but it's the quick thing to point out with doing Lander. And the same goes for shotties. Because you know, jumping is predictable movement, and you should punish predictable movement. Could have used more trap preparation to prevent such obvious pushes. Yeah, this building was clearly one of their most obvious approaches, and you saw them already trying to push below you, so Shuzo's right there. Definitely should have popped some barrels on maybe the doors, the staircase, or at least down here so you know when they're pushing. That would have been very helpful. That is true. I find myself overwhelmed when people are that close and switch to hipfire. How should I combat that? Honestly, just every time when your game ends, or if your fight ends and you noticed you did that, keep telling yourself out loud like, ah fuck, I should have ADS'd. And it's gonna be very frustrating for a while to keep reminding yourself of that for like 20 games. But by game 21, you're gonna make the mistake twice instead of 3 times, right? And you're gonna slowly whittle it down. That's why we're saying we want to make this an active process, and it's gonna take some repetition before your brain gets used to fixing it. But that's okay. Just keep reminding yourself and you'll get it. I swear, when I was playing Overwatch and I wanted to become good at FPS games, my everyday was playing 3 games, going back into the recording, and then just out loud calling myself a moron for all of the stupid mistakes I made. My positioning was so bad in FPS games at the start. I did that for a very long time, and now I'm slightly less moronic in FPS, so it somehow worked out, but you need a lot of repetition to make them habits. Right, dropping some barrels here, that is good. Remember, you can shoot them to set them off. You know where she is, so you can punish her position pretty easily there by tapping it when you put it on the corner where she is. Did you let her res? I thought she was down, right? I thought it was only the Bangalore that was up. I think you let her rest, which is a shame. Could have definitely popped the barrel inside there, then the rest would have been more difficult, but you also definitely should have used the barrel to pressure her out, that Bangalore. Unless I'm mistaken and she got rest earlier, or she wasn't down. Also, you keep, this is not super important in the fight, but just while you're not under pressure, you walk past this banner like 3 times. If you're gonna walk past the door anyway and not take a fight in this doorway, then you may as well pick it up. Like, you don't want to pick it up when you're being shot at, because during the animation you can't shoot. But if you know you're gonna go past the door and you're not really fighting here, then you may as well. Because if you don't pick it up now and this ends up taking a long time, you might have to rush it, which makes you predictable and it's very dangerous. If you pick it up now and the fight takes very long, there's no timer on it anymore, so that pressure is gone of having to choose, do I let it run out or do I risk dying for it? I wouldn't have thrown the barrel in there at random, but that's just because you don't have charges, so right now you don't have one when you need it. And the nice thing about caustic is when you're caught out in the open is to drop a barrel not just for cover, but then shooting it so that you have gas as well. There's like a 1 second delay and then you can shoot it. So you always want to make sure that you save 1 charge of your barrels in case you get caught out, or in case you end up fighting. Let's say the Bangalore comes out in the door and you end up standing here, which is a very common way to fight. And you can pop a barrel on this corner, and as soon as you need to run away, you just shoot it behind you so she can't chase you. Or if you need to heal, you can shoot it so that you have cover, and you can see her when she pushes and she gets slowed. So having 1 barrel like your oh shit ability, oh shit I fucked up, let me pop this 1 barrel that I saved, is very useful. I highly recommend it. And popping it in blind, it might tell you where she is, but it's not guaranteed to get value, so it's a bit risky. Alright, you reverted to high ground. That's always a good habit to keep reverting to high ground. You are exposed for all 4 of these shots, which is unnecessary because the wingman doesn't shoot that long. So right here you've got this cover right here, so take a shot at her right now, then step to the left. She's going to keep moving to the right because the only way she can see you now is with a very wide peak. Like she should run. She's not going to, but she should run. A good player here wouldn't take this fight because this is out in the open, so she should go beneath. And when she doesn't, you can just keep using this corner or this high ground edge to peek only when you shoot, and then use the cover when you're not shooting. So wingman is slow, that's a luxury you have. You shouldn't be visible this entire time, you almost died for it. Other than that, good shots, good shit. And nice that you took high ground, that's very good. Here as well, once the Wraith is visible through the wall, we talked about this in the earlier VOD with the Bloodhound. I don't know if you noticed, where I was saying you want to make sure that you're next to the corner that basically blocks line of sight from them. So there's only 1 corner in between you guys. And then you want to use it so you can see them through the walls. You can aim at them through the wall and then peek. So the moment you're visible, you instantly shoot and hit. There's almost nowhere to counter that, it's way too fast. So right here, when you see the damage number and you know where she is, you want to walk up to the corner ADS where you see the damage and take slow steps forward, so as minimal of your hitbox is visible as possible, and then shoot. That ultimate as well, just like the barrel you threw inside, like yeah, that is where she was, so it might force her out of the area, but you weren't sure where she went, so it's not guaranteed value. I would have saved that until you were sure that where you threw it, she had to run out into the open, which wasn't the case here. If she's holding this box, then you want to throw it behind here while you're on high ground, because if she goes here, she's out in the open against you, and if she goes there, she's out in the open against you. So her only choice is going over this wall and using this wall as cover. That's a lot of drawing. Using this wall as cover, right? Meant to throw it farther, was a panic. Oh, that's too bad, dude. That happens. I mess up my nades a lot because right before they throw, I move my mouse. Right. Other than that, good shit. Punished her for the revive. Got back in time for the... Oh no! Oh, you made it. Okay, got back in time for the banners.